Good afternoon from Raleigh, North Carolina. I am here at the Sertoma Art Center. If you haven't been here, I'd recommend checking it out. It's actually a pretty good place to go. I have a umbrella, just in case you're wondering what the world that is. I actually have an umbrella because it is so bright. It's so difficult to see me. So I want to talk about, professional wrestling. I grew up a big professional wrestling fan. Big. It was my favorite sport. I thought it was it was a real thing. And so, I'd tune in. Growing up in Charlotte, we had Mid-Atlantic Wrestling mainly, NWA. If you ever watched, you may know doo-doo-doop, 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 doo-doo-doop. That was actually a disco song by Donna Ray, Got to Have Lovin'. It's actually words to it. Well, anyway, so I grew up in Charlotte. I thought Charlotte was the wrestle capital of the world. Didn't realize that it was actually one of several territories. So I guess it was the capital of that particular territory, I guess, if you want to look at it that way. You had a New York territory. That's where the WWF was. Mid-South, which was UWF, later becoming part of, NWA, WCW, stuff like that. Well, anyway, so I just knew it was real. Well, let me tell you exactly when I found out, or when I suspected it probably wasn't. So I'm not sure how familiar you are with the Midnight Express. Beautiful Bobby, Loverboy Dennis, those guys. You may also be familiar with Sweet Stan Lane. My favorite was always Beautiful Bobby and Loverboy Dennis myself. So, but at any rate, and you're probably familiar with Dusty Rhodes and Magnum TA, who had an accident pretty early in his career. You're probably familiar with those guys. All right. Now, I'm not sure if you're also familiar with this. They actually, Dusty Rhodes and, well, let me just go on with the story. All right. So, apparently there was this group called the James Gang. Fashioned after Jesse and Frank James, right? From the, latter portion, slightly latter portion of the 19th century, the Outlaws. Well, all right. So you had Jim Cornette, and Jim Cornette's watching his tag team wrestle. And then the James Gang comes in, and they take Jim Cornette, and they take him out of the Coliseum, and they tie a chain to his neck, and they're actually about to drive him, by his neck, drag him across his neck. They probably would not have known about, the Bird tragedy in 1998, I believe. They wouldn't have known that. But anyway, they're about to drag him by his neck by the truck, and and the Midnight Express comes in and they save him. Now, in addition to pretty much committing, attempted murder, right? The James Gang feels a need to interview that hanging, if you will, wasn't good enough for him. Now, understand that these people just committed a crime, right? They attempted to murder somebody. And so I was like, what on earth is going on here? Well, guess what else? I want to see the news. I want to see the news. because, this is horrible. I need to know more about it. I needed to, make sure that, I wanted to see if people were on the case. Not a mention of it in the news. Well, from there I was thinking, nah, this has got to be a setup because, you can't possibly try to commit attempted murder on TV. Interview, and there's, interview, the authorities aren't here yet. And in addition to that, that there's nothing, nothing about it on the news. And from then on there, I was like, I'm not 100% sure how this is fake, but I have a feeling that this isn't what I thought it was. So, and of course, they protected, if you will, they protected their culture at all costs, didn't they? I mean, what was a guy named Dr. Dave or something like that? Remember that guy who slapped John Stossel straight in the face? I mean, you couldn't be seen together, but right then and there, I was like, well, my goodness, there's no way on earth you can't possibly consider that criminal activity unless it's staged, right? So anyway, that's when I found out. I'm not sure, when you all found out. Maybe you always knew, maybe, you noticed that, that the odds that were printed in the newspapers when we were growing up didn't include wrestling. You probably already knew all this stuff, but I didn't. Anyway, hey, take care. Love going down memory lanes with y'all. Take care. Bye. Bye-bye.